The greatest challenge for several sectors of our society is to make the Amazon forest productive but sustainable. How can we integrate economic activity with the need to keep the world's largest tropical forest alive? Reduced impact forest management is certainly one of the answers, proving that the productive timber extraction process can coexist with the natural diversity of the exuberant forest. The Jamanchin project is a successful partnership between Senai and the timber company Coimal, supported by Projeto. This project encourages forest exploitation through reduced impact sustainable forest management, respecting the natural recovery process of the environment. Jamanchin project is very important for the forestry-based sector because it teaches the correct techniques of sustainable exploitation. This is what is necessary to guarantee the future of the timber industry. Coimal Timber takes its raw material from the Jamanchin project, and its main business is exportation, although it also supplies the domestic market. Coimal works exclusively with wood extracted from sustainable forest management. Its management area also provides raw material for another nearby company, proving that it is possible for production to coexist with natural resource preservation.
O interesse da Coimal é fazermos a nossa produção, a nossa extração dentro da legalidade com os órgãos ambientais.
Coimal is interested in legal extraction with minimal damage to the environment. And in partnership with Senai, we are using new techniques that we are learning and passing on. Senai takes care of the organization and the professional, and if Senai does not have the right people, they find them. This is how we can ensure the continuity of our work. It is a continuous search that in the future will provide an almost perfect alliance with environmental organs and leading to the survival of forest exploitation. The Jamanchin project also provides an important educational program, creating awareness of the sustainable forest management concept. Over 600 people have attended courses at the Senai Coimal Forest School. Among them, there are groups of entrepreneurs, academics, or researchers, including employees from the timber industry who are trained using this technology that has come to stay. Considering the importance of the timber industry to the Mato Grosso economy and the need to preserve this sector, which provides a large number of jobs and revenue to the state of Mato Grosso, the Jamanchin project is particularly important because it organizes the rational use of the forest. Furthermore, it divulges technology, which leads to the preservation of our native wealth. Senai has been concerned with the use of reduced impact technologies in forest management since 1988, when it began to develop programs that aim to make better use of our forest resources. In the 90s, the institution made agreements with UNDP, UN, Canada, and Germany, resulting in action training for employees and working with several projects, such as the State Environmental Agency. The Jamanchin project is run on the farm with the same name, 120 kilometers from the town of Sinop, 620 kilometers from Cuiabá, in the municipal district of Santa Carmen, and is managed by IBAMA with Projeto, the Amazonia Sustainable Forest Management Support Project, and subsidized by KfW. This project is the result of the policy established by Programa Piloto para a Proteção das Florestas Tropicais do Brasil, pilot program to conserve the Brazilian rainforest, PPG-7, created to strengthen and maximize the environmental benefits of the Brazilian rainforest compatible with the country's development, representing a unique model of cooperation between the Brazilian government, the local people, and international society.
A parceria entre o Senai e a empresa Coimal, ela tem grande
The partnership between Senai and Coimal is particularly strong as both institutions are well established in terms of structure, equipment, machinery, and businesses with great interest in adopting and applying changes. The management starts with the creation of a project that includes the documentation of the company and surveys and maps of legal reserves, permanent preservation areas, the location of access roads, and a forest inventory. The detailed maps used by teams in the field are made from satellite images that provide accurate data about geographic features, hydrographics, and wet areas, and even the concentration of vegetation at specific points. After collecting this information, it is possible to locate main and secondary roads and trails, establish work units depending on the distribution of trees, and select the most suitable places to open clearings where logs will be temporarily stored. All this planning follows criteria that focuses on the maximum use of resources and minimal impact on the environment.
Através das estradas pré-marcadas, as nossas estradas secundárias e primárias.
Thanks to our secondary and main roads pre-marked by 100% inventories, we are able to localize the largest and densest concentrations of wood. Our stockpiles, clearings, and the forest are all planned, leading to a 25% reduction in machine time. Information about the location and commercial volume of all trees of a certain area is called a 100% inventory. The Jamanchin project uses this procedure.
260 CAP, a mescla, altura 12, sanidade 2.
The position of every tree over 45 centimeters in diameter is cataloged by the work units and identified with green markers. These trees are mature enough to be felled. Trees between 30 and 44.9 centimeters in diameter are also measured and classified, blue markers, and are considered remaining trees and must be kept along with the seed carriers, red signs, which, despite being mature, are kept to propagate the species, producing fruit annually and dropping seeds to the ground, contributing with the process of natural regeneration of the forest. Seeds and fruit feed the wild fauna, also contributing to the dispersal of seeds. In forest management, ecological processes can be maintained, allowing the forest to reproduce and remain productive. This is sustainability, not only of nature, but also of the timber industry. What we expect now, after this pilot project, and with the comparative studies that we have made between conventional and reduced impact forest exploitation, is that we can pass on these techniques to a larger number of businesses in the forestry and timber industry, which is strong in our state, with more than 1,000 timber companies. They can be convinced that reduced impact forest management is possible, highly lucrative, and the best alternative we have for sustainable forest exploitation.
a melhor saída para que a gente tenha essa exploração florestal de forma sustentável.
The location and classification of protected species, such as the Brazil nut tree, is important to ensure that they are spared. All work is based on these exploitation maps, whether it is to fell trees or to open trails and clearings or for any kind of transport. Several measures are taken in felling a tree. The tree must fall in the direction in which it will least affect the neighboring trees. Vines are cut off a year earlier to avoid dragging other trees or cause any injury to the chainsaw operator. A test is made using the chainsaw blade to check whether the trunk is hollow. If it is, the tree is left. The operator checks the tree's natural inclination and the direction and strength of the wind, and as well as cutting out a wedge from the trunk, uses other wedges to ensure the precision of the fall. After locating the trees, as shown in the inventory, a plan is drawn to define the route along which the log will be dragged out, respecting the criteria of minimum interference and impact on the forest. Tractors with tires, as opposed to tracks, drive in and out of the forest along trails that are previously marked by a technician, in accordance with minimum impact criteria and without opening new clearings to maneuver. The trails are marked with ribbons, using the shortest route to the nearest stockpile, allowing the logs to be dragged without the tractor returning to the base. Logs are dragged with one end suspended to increase speed and reduce damage to the soil. Loading is done using the tractor arm with the aim of causing least scraping or compacting of the soil. Safety equipment is part of the training, and its use, along with a more technical work ethic, has reduced the number of accidents in an activity earlier fraught with risks to almost zero.
Os funcionários da empresa Coimal tiveram treinamento.
Coimal employees, as well as employees from other companies in the region, have been trained here in the forest school, practicing reduced impact forest management and also better use of personal safety equipment. Even having followed standard procedures to minimize impact, in each area already exploited, a follow-up is done to evaluate the recovery process of the vegetation and to verify if some intervention is necessary to accelerate forest development. Comparative studies are performed between exploited areas and permanent preserved areas to ensure that the recovery comprises the complete biodiversity and not only species with commercial value. Recently, Senai in Mato Grosso studied 10 productive sectors in our state. One of them was the furniture industry, and when we studied the advantages and disadvantages, we identified a great opportunity to work more deeply in certain areas. Until then, we worked on the shop floor, together with companies that process the wood. We realized that we could also make a great contribution working in other productive sectors, the forest, where exploitation is widespread. This led to the idea of building the first Senai Forest School in Brazil, which is here. This school, a partnership with Coimal and Promanejo, has been developing activities and techniques of reduced impact forest management. Senai Coimal Promanejo Forest School is a pioneer enterprise. It is designed to receive groups of 25 students, including workers who wish to specialize in this area, researchers, academics, and forest engineers.
programa do Promanejo é buscar
Promanejo program
processos
studies and
e
records
registrar
processes
o processo, o
and the
aprendizado
learning of
desses
these
processos.
processes.
Então, essa parceria
This partnership
também
has
sendo
already
já
been used
replicada,
elsewhere,
né? Então, os
and
outros
other
senais,
Senais
outras
and
unidades de
other
negócios
businesses in
existentes
Brazil
no Brasil
are
já
already
estão
showing
mostrando
interest in
interesse, né?
reproducing
Tá
and
replicando,
using this
tá
style of
incorporando
forest
a sua
management.
formação manejo florestal. Então, isso é
This is a very positive
resultado
result
positivo muito
for the
grande,
program
né?
itself,
Pro programa
and
em
also
si,
for
e
the
até mesmo
development of
pro
management
avanço
in the
da
Amazon
região,
region.
né? Na região amazônica.
The school is spreading its roots and becoming more established, like the technology that is taught there. Technology that has come to stay, preserving the forest and its biodiversity. This is the best way of perpetuating the timber industry and the long-term perspective of employees and businesses.
Senai é mais Brasil, é mais Mato Grosso.